What's up, everybody? Miss Salty Giggles here, and today we are playing Dead by Daylight. Now, tomorrow is going to be the new Resident Evil chapter update, and Raccoon Police Department is going to be split into two sections. That's right, two sections. There is going to be a west wing and an east wing. So they're taking half of this map and splitting it. Oh, there's Hatch. Sorry about that. They're splitting it into two sections. I'm not too happy about this, but you know, the Resident Evil map has been released for over a year now, originally coming out back in June of 2021. What's up, Wraith? I have Wraith here. I have Wraith in my Hawkins video too. I'm really sad. This is one of my favorite maps because the aesthetic is just, it's so beautiful. Oh, a quick thing about this hook. The killer could not make it to this hook if he knocked you down over here. So a lot of people would run out and let the killer down them right here. But usually the killer just lets you bleed out. Because the killers got smart and they're like, I know what you're doing. Look at these dead bodies. So, but they wouldn't make it to the hook. You'd wiggle free, but originally they would just... well, not originally, but, you know, eventually they would just let you bleed out. If it was endgame and you were all alone, but sometimes your teammates would come save you. So anyways, one of the first points of interest I want to visit is the library. They are changing the library aesthetic completely. There's not going to be an upstairs anymore. They're blocking this part off. It's very unfortunate. Okay. I'm gonna miss this. It was actually really hard as a nurse to blink up here. Blink around here. Because you couldn't blink. You could only blink across here. As a nurse, you couldn't like blink from here to there. It wouldn't let you. It would send you straight down. So you only could blink up and down these areas. But it was a good place to juke the killer. Sometimes. There's also a totem that spawns up here. This totem spawn was so good for boons. I mean, the killer just... They would have to go out of their way to, like, crush it. And they normally wouldn't. That's always a good boon. If a totem spawns here, that's, like, perfect boon. But yeah, this part's going away. It was really bad when hooks spawned up here. There was a hook that would spawn... like in these corners or something, or like right here, and the killer could block. Like he could camp you and block anyone from reaching you because there's only one way up the stairs. I hate when I get the map where the hook spawns here. But anyway, there's not going to be any more library stairs. It's going to be completely blocked. That makes me sad. I really liked it. Just having it here was nice. It was a good hiding spot too. But yeah, these maps are going to be split, so I figured I'd do a short video of just walking around and, you know, looking at the map in its entirety before it's cut into half and massacred. Look at how they massacred my boy. But, no, it's one of my all-time favorite maps as Survivor and Killer. I play both sides, but I didn't want to see it get cut up. I wanted Dead by Daylight to keep the original size map and, you know, add the other two and just make it a realm. But there's too many complaints on this map, and I knew that. I knew if people complained. This map's been out a year. Just a little over a year, and it's being deleted. Imagine that. Just a year, and it's being... We already lost Hawkins. Now we're losing RPD. Tragic. So, well, we are getting two maps, other maps, but I don't know how they're going to play. I'm a little excited for that, but... I mean, I just don't see why we have to get rid of this map. It's such a good map. I know killers will be in chat and be like, no, fuck you. It's not a good map, not for killer. But when I play killer, I didn't mind. I did not mind at all. This side wasn't really the best side to loot the killer. The side where the helicopter crashes is the best, and I'll show you guys some neat tricks that you probably already know, and if you don't know, well, it's pointless to know now since it's going away, but maybe some of the same loops will stay. So yeah, there's this door that spawns in the back, and then it can spawn on the other side as well. And then there's, of course, the gate at the main entrance. There used to be a glitch where you could get out on the outside and walk on the outside. They patched it up fairly quickly, though. I didn't abuse any of the glitches. I kind of wish I had, because it would have been cool to walk on the outside of the gates. Yeah, I love this map, and I just know it like the back of my hand. So once you get familiar with it, you can cut off survivors and chases, and you can also just run the killer. Because there's only two ways to get to the other side, and a lot of people don't know this. This side is how you get out, and then there's an upstairs. So right here. So a lot of people will get lost. They won't know how to get across the map, but they'll get hung up on this area. They'll be like, how do I get over? How do I get over? Because they think this goes out to this side, but it just brings them back. So if you see the stairs, that goes up. This is a basement. It's blocked off. That means the basement's on the other side. It happens a lot when people are in a chase. What you want to do is not go this way. If you go this way, you're probably going to go down. When you come out of this room, your best bet is to hang a left. Then go up. And then hang a right, because there's a pallet that spawns here. That's the best way out of that situation. Or dart for the other side. If you have overcome, you'll definitely be able to make it to the pallet if you get hit. You'll probably take a hit right here. I always get stuck in this room. I'll get hit and I'll run and I'll just like somehow manage to get hung up on this stuff. But yeah, then you have back here, and this takes you right back. But if you're running from the killer and you're trying to make it across, you have to go through here. Or you can go down here and make a left. But a lot of people get lost in this area specifically. That's why I'm talking about it so much. They'll get lost. There's two rooms that look like this. Very confusing is this one. And the one up here. Not this one. I'm already lost. There's another one. This one. They look almost identical. So you can get kind of confused on where you're at on the map. From these two rooms. Not identical, but the pattern's similar, so it can be confusing. Also, there's always this staircase. Oops, sorry, I'm backwards. Right here. This goes up as well. So getting like map familiarity is important. So that's why if you're not good at a map, you should be using map offerings to play that map. Because the more times you play it, the more familiar it's going to become. And so that's what I do. If I'm not good at a certain map, I'll throw offerings up to get the map and practice on it. Or do customs and do it. This is always a good... this is when you're in a chase from here. This room, right? So like you can be coming out of the hallway, or you drop down. There's a drop down right here. So that's in the laundry room upstairs. You drop down, you can just do one of these. If the killer's right on you, you can drop this. Most of the times, if the killer thinks you're gonna drop it, he'll just move to the side here. But you just want to keep running, hang a right, then go this way, and then dart right back up. And you can continue this loop. So if they gain chase on you, like if they're really close, you can jump in here. You can do this loop. You know, do this for a little bit. There's also a totem spawn in here. This is not a good boon. Like, everyone knows, most killers play Survivor too. They'll know where the totem spawns are. But anyways, you can come out and you can go here, and just drop down again. Or you can just run up to it and do this. They'll think you dropped. But then you can just do the loop again. And if you didn't drop a pallet, even better. And you can even fake them out. Actually, no, that's too far to fake out. I was going to say you could walk here, and they'll probably follow the tracks. But it might be too obvious. But yeah, I didn't spend too much time on this side of the map. There's a totem spawn in here. Well, a totem does spawn in here. It's not here right now. I liked the helicopter crash side. But this map was really strong for survivors. Killers hated it because they knew it was... there's a lot of good loops here. And yeah, they just hated it. They said it was severely survivor-sided. This is one of my favorite rooms. I don't know if this is going away. As I said, a lot of these rooms might stay the same. They're just cutting the map in half. But I don't know. So I'm going through and I'm making a video and recording because I don't know how different it's gonna be. This was such a good loop too. A lot of people said it's not. A lot of people being my friends. But you could easily fake out the killer. Like once you do the jump, right? Once you jump across, the killer is gonna come around here. Right? And then you just pretend that you're gonna dart back. And then he'll show up over here, but you didn't jump. So you just keep you keep baiting him, or baiting the killer. And eventually, I say him because most of the killers are male aesthetic. In appearance. So, but, yeah. You can fake him out so many times, but eventually you're gonna have to jump. And then of course we have this loop. This is a fun loop to do. The killers can catch up really quickly. Sometimes like mind game here. If you're playing against a huntress, this is a bad loop. If you're playing against a huntress, please don't run this loop. She will hit you. This is anything that has like a long stretch, like this side and that other side. You don't want to run down it because you can easily get hit. The Huntress has the hitbox size of a bus. It doesn't matter if you do one of these or these. If she throws it down here, you're getting hit. If she throws it over here, you're getting hit. Like, you gotta be careful. Like, if you're playing a Huntress, stay out of this fucking room. Just stay out of it. It's not a good one. That and some killers, they would chase you, and if they suspected you of dropping the pallet, they would do one of these. Now, if you're not dropping the pallet, that's good because that wastes some time on them, so you can just run more. But if you drop it, if you pre-drop too early, that killer's gonna be like, ha, got him, and he's gonna come over here and slap you. So then you have, or if you vault back, you're in a bad situation, but you're gonna take a hit. Okay, let's look. Samoa. Wait, did we go look at this totem spawn? There's a totem spawn over here. I don't know what it is about this totem, but it's usually Noed. That's a totem spawn. There's also a totem spawn in the announcement room. I call it the announcement room because, you know, these freaking things. This is also a bad boon totem. Guys, please stop making this a boon totem. This is a bad boon totem. It's so obvious. Stop making totems obvious totems boons. Like, don't do it. I'm not doing it. This is why I call it the announcement room. I'm sure it's called something else, like the not PDA. What the fuck? Whatever they call like journalists and stuff. You know, fuck, I forgot. It's early. I'm making this video at 4 a.m. Give me a break. Alright. Dear citizens of Raccoon City, I would like to make an announcement that we are losing this map. Why, you say? Because of crybaby killers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a goofball, sorry. Okay, so we covered majority of the bottom of this map, except one of my favorite areas. Over here. A lot of people underutilize this area. There's also a generator spawn back here. Okay? A lot of people just use this to hide. Like, if a killer's after them, they'll just like, they'll do one of these. Like, and if it's like a newish killer or a killer that relies on scratch marks and doesn't realize survivors hide like this, they're gonna just walk out and walk back and be like, where'd they go? But there's so much potential here. So a generator can spawn here and also down here. See, there's one here. And this is also killer basement. The other killer basement. This basement is massive. For no reason. They didn't need to make the basement this big. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Look how massive this thing is. But anyways, my favorite parts of this map is this area. Chest spawn. Mainly because if this does spawn a pallet, sometimes it doesn't. But usually if there's a gen spawn around here, like if this gen spawns here, that pallet will be there. And then if the gen spawns down here, there's a pallet that will like be in the middle. That spawns in the middle. So that's what I've noticed anyway with the variations. These bathroom stalls have saved me so many times. You know how many times I was in a chase and I would just like, I'd be running and I would stop. I would stop like right here. And I would just go into like this bathroom. It's so dark. Unless the killer is playing on like, what is that, high contrast, they're probably not going to see you. High contrast is a crutch, and if you're using it, shame on you. You shouldn't be playing on high contrast. It ruins the aesthetic of the game. It's supposed to be dark for a reason. Anyways, this is one of my favorite areas. Also because of this. This leads right out to the helicopter crash. Under the stairs. A lot of people don't know what's there. They'll constantly run to this door. Stop it. There's this whole thing underneath here. And you can make this a gigantic loop. Now eventually the killers, you might take a hit during this loop. But look at this. A generator can spawn here too. There's usually a totem over here as well. Oh. Well, it's not here today. So this pallet can spawn here or on the other side. This is one of the best loops. This is what I would consider a god loop. You can see the killer over it, but they can't necessarily see you because they're in first person. So you can watch them, and they think they're juking you and doing fancy stuff, but you can see them. So chances are, don't drop this pallet right away. You can do a lot of good loops. This will buy your team time. If you get rid of this pallet too early, it's just not going to be good. So this is why it's good. And you got to be careful because you want to do the loop on the side where you can take the vault. Because some killers, they'll turn you around, which makes it harder to do this loop. But, you know, some killers be good. If a killer does that, you probably won't be able to do the loop that I'm trying to show you. But you just go around here as many times as you can. Eventually, you don't wait until bloodlust, or a certain bloodlust. They're gonna get fast, so they might catch up to you. Because they will come out over here. But what you do is you take that vault down, and then you turn around back here. And this is gonna be it's such a good loop. And even better if you have the pallet here, so just hang a right, hang another right, and you're back up. See what I mean? And then you can just do it all over again. This will buy you so much time. And usually the killer, once they see that you have brought them back up there, then they're probably gonna leave. Not only that, but you can easily do like this twice, because your scratch marks are gonna stay present. So you can easily run up and do it again. Now be careful, because a good killer will know what you're trying to do and they will backtrack. Because they'll know exactly where you're going, and next thing you know, you jump and the killer's right here. They're like, gotcha, bitch. But you can keep going, and this is where hiding in the bathroom stall comes in clutch. Because your scratch marks are going to be there. They're going to be faded. So you can hide here. The killer is going to think that you went around again, but you didn't. Now, I used to run a lot of Iron Will and Sprint Burst, but ever since the nerf of Sprint Burst, I mean, I don't run Iron Will anymore. So Iron Will would definitely come in clutch, but if you're injured, this only works if you're not injured. If you're injured, you're going to have some issues unless you have something that makes you quiet. Or if you have self-care and bite the bullet, then you could start self-caring right here. But anyways, it's a really good loop, and I like taking it often. This is one of the best loopable parts of the map, and it always hurt when I was in solo queue. And they dropped this freaking pallet. But you know, people with not that much experience or that play this game like their life depended on it, they're not gonna know. They don't have as much map familiarity as you do, so it's okay. It is frustrating sometimes. This is an alright loop. Not really good if you're playing Huntress. She can hit you through here. It's just not good. Anything that exposes your shoulders up, you're probably gonna get hit. A good Huntress is gonna hit you. A Huntress is actually pretty good at this map because of the long hallways. It's actually a pretty strong map for Huntress, believe it or not. Yeah. So I think we've covered the majority of the map. This is another. This is not a good loop just because you can't see the killer. Anything like this is hard to mind game. So this room is pretty much this. I feel like the killer is gonna be chasing you and be right up on you. That'll be when you drop this. Like the killer's breathing down your neck, so you can actually see them. This is not. I would not recommend looping this. You would have to do one of these constantly to see where the killer's going. It's a little bit hard. It is loopable, but just harder to do. This is just useless. Don't go in here. The killer can trap you. Also, other dick survivors can trap you. They will. They'll keep you here. A little prison for no reason. This is one of my favorite areas. Pallet can spawn here or here. I personally like when the pallet spawns here, because this is a fun thing to loop. Unless it's a Huntress, because obviously this is super low. You're gonna get hit. Or a ranged killer like Death Slinger. That's a horrible loopable area for ranged killers. But for every other killer, you just run around. You know, and Bubba using his chainsaw, he's most likely gonna run into one of these chairs. This is a good loop against a Bubba. I think we've covered everything. Yeah, I think we've went over most areas. I mean, I'm gonna miss this entire map, but it is strong. If you're playing against survivors that know, usually this is gonna be Swifts. I just don't think we should compare a map against how hard it is playing a Swift against them. Because if you're playing with all solos or even new survivors, they're not gonna know how to play this one. They're gonna get just as lost as the killer. I wouldn't nix or get rid of a map just because Swifts make it hard. Because that's the only time you're going to have trouble on this map, is if you're playing against a Swift. Or maybe a duo Swift. Like 2 duos. But even then, there are some people without comms, so... The other gate can spawn out here. It's not here now, but... But yeah, this is RPD. It's about as long as my Hawkins video. It's sad that we're losing it. Well, we're not exactly losing it. We're just getting a different version of it. I just still don't understand why we have to get rid of this version. But, yep. I'm gonna miss it. For all its glory. Well, that concludes the video. Yeah, so you guys who didn't get the chance to play on Raccoon Police Department when it was a full-size map, this is a tour for everyone who's gonna miss this map like I am. Here's a little nostalgia, and yeah, you guys have a great day. Have a goddamn good one.